Anyway, okay, let's look ahead and look at his vision. Okay. So when you analyze that part of the speech, his vision, I think you can encapsulate it in one sentence: to use systems and data to drive Ghana into the fourth industrial revolution.
Which one? Which revolution? Which revolution?
The fourth
one.
Yes.
Charlie, we not did the first one.
We finished the first.
See, where are we in the first one?
What's the first one?
We are not in the first one. We are not in the second one. We are not in the third one.
Are you saying that?
Which one? Wait, remind me again. Which one is the fourth industrial revolution?
AI and digitalization.
Just go school now. Like, see, I don't think AI is good.
Yeah.
In fact, I am in AI, right? AI is good, right?
Yeah.
But we have to understand, say, all these countries that are doing AI now benefiting from AI. I'm not saying we should stop, right? What I'm saying is that at least can you even keep the light on so that your AI, Massa, which Doomsaw has stopped. See, Doomsaw, one thing Ghanaians have to realize is that Doomsaw has been a cycle. It's only a matter of time. Then you go back. 60 to 70 years after independence, right? If we can't end Doomsaw, like make solution is from next year 2025.
Yeah.
Every newborn Ghanaian child will never know what Doomsaw looks like.
But what if there's
there is like what?
The transmitter
They explain. No evidence. Because almost 70 years, right? You should be able to solve those problems.
They say they've solved it.
Have they?
Any other issue, when the light goes off for a couple days, maybe they are repairing something. Or
maybe sorry, in America, don't they repair things?
Oh, but I said here sometimes
don't they repair
to repair.
How many times do you see the light going off for repairs?
They are machine that break down.
Now, bottom line is that it means one person has solved the problem. You haven't solved it. What I say. So don't say you are going to do AI. When AI needs electricity. Do you get it? You don't have electricity. AI can't work. He's talking about electric vehicles. Joe, do they realize that electric vehicles actually run on electricity? Right?
So I say we don't have electricity in Ghana. I went to Nigeria.
I want Nigeria for because of electric vehicles. That's what I say. But the most important part is that
people win the AFCON.
See, the most important part is this, right?
Yeah.
Yes, AI and all those are futuristic.
Yeah.
They are fantastic ideas, right? Let's also get our fundamentals right. Me and building on it. Let's be honest with ourselves.
So right now, okay. He says he wants the economy to be based on a growth mindset and a mindset of possibilities. That Ghanaians should think about possibilities. So down there, you think down there is just
it's big talk. I mean possibilities.
Oh, right? But we have to inculcate that in the students so that
See, you know what they say, right? Actions speak louder, right? The kid who is going to school, maybe his or her
robotics competition. So.
Oh, of course. I mean, nobody should make a mistake. Ghanaians are very smart people, right? I don't think we are any less, compared to any other group of people. What I say, we are very smart people. We have brilliant minds. What I say, the key is in harnessing those brilliant minds, to solve our problems and not lying and talking big and all those things.
Okay.
What I say. So that growth mindset now can need possibilities now. Need a drama, right?
Yeah, but you don't.
You go school, right? Yeah, you go. It's good on paper, right? But be.
So maybe we can ask him how you do it, so that.
All I'm saying is that say who lay foundation, right?
Yeah.
Light can because I think say energy, constant supply of energy is critical for businesses to move, and that's how you employ people, more people. What I said.
Yeah.
You need energy to move. What I said. Until I might keep going back to the electricity, but there are other problems, of course, like roads, healthcare, and all these things, right? Now, who lay these foundations are? Accra Oko school, right? Boy or girl, they know that their elder brother or elder sister is doing a good job when they finish school, right? Life is moving. That teaches the kid, it gives them better hope. Now, if those Edikanfo can't even find work, right? What kind of hope can you talk to that child? Talking to that child.
Right now, you are saying that the mindset of possibilities is if the employment situation improves, the electricity situation becomes a thing of the
creates
past.
That enabling environment. Then people know things are possible.
So you are saying that environment of possibility is par for the course when you solve all those.
Yeah, see the contradiction. On one hand, you're talking about possibility. On another hand, you're talking about electric vehicles and those things.
So isn't it possible?
See, wishful thinking.
There was a time where he said all the trotros in Ghana will become EV.
Yeah, right. Like why trotro into the you should continue to have trotro.
But the thing is even what we call the trotro right now, like those cars, like
where Uber trap, right? Like they have like buses,
train.
And even the roads themselves are planned well.
Yeah.
What I say. To the vision, they say, Ghana, they will always have trotro. So EV trotro.
But that was.
You see, all I'm saying is even these are contradicting. This is not a possibility. We don't need. We should graduate to a different
digital economy. He said there will be a credit rating system. And they will build on the past. Of course, digitalization.
It's good overall. I think it's good. I mean, digitalization. See, his argument is that he was put in charge of digitalization. He was at the economic management committee or team, right? But he claims he didn't have powers to do stuff.
Advisory powers.
Exactly. So making it seem like his advice, but sometimes the organ book at Neza So maybe fair enough, right? I think digitalization is good. Credit reporting system, I also think is good, right? But I don't think that should be the priority of government.
Yeah.
What I say? That should not be the priority of government. We could even have some institution, the agency.
There are private credit reports,
to create that. Because let's take a step back, right? What is the usefulness of credit reporting and individualized credit and stuff?
Yeah,
it's for like personalized finance access, right? Say, if I need a loan, I can go there. They look at my credit score. It's like, okay, you look like somebody who can pay, right? If you run an economy where a lot of the citizens is hand to mouth, they are doing. Do you get it? What I mean by that is that income levels are generally so low.
Yeah.
Do you get it? So a lot of the people who are borrowing on even MTN, mobile money loans and stuff, it's just to augment their living. Exactly. So that kind of money is not money you can pay back.
You can't pay it.
Charlie, you go chop them. See, the whole point is you invest them on you take loan, you invest it. You get returns on
the credit. He said something about people being able to use to buy stuff on credit. I mean, here you buy a lot of things with your credit card and then you pay it.
You pay. That's the bottom line. So you have an income.
Your argument is that people do not have
that income to be paying for.
But middle class people have those incomes.
That's fair enough, right?
So maybe the middle class can take advantage.
Yeah, but hold on. Ghana, right? What is the size of our middle class?
That's
the bottom line I'm getting at,
right? We have to create a good middle class.
We have to first create a strong middle class so that these things will follow up. You see, if Ribako and Sanya you get it.
But that one too, he said he would tackle it because
I don't think it should be a priority.
It's going to reduce cost of living. Maybe not that the government will do it themselves, but
government should focus on
provide the enabling environment for private sector to step into that space. Okay. Maybe that's what they do.
Okay, I see.
So they also reduce cost of living. Part of that plan will be to cut energy costs. So they introduce renewable energy sources like solar and wind into the energy mix to bring down the price of energy to Ghanaians, so that we will not be relying on fossil fuel. And that also
now fossil fuels for what's our problem with it? What's our
climate change and cost?
Climate change and cost.
First
of all, right? You say, what is our contribution to the climate problem?
Accra's air quality was one of the worst in the world. Recently,
and that's because we are using fossil fuels.
There's dust, there's fossil fuels.
But is it because my brother, see. So compared with your roads and pavement and stuff, which one do you think will solve the dust problem better than doing renewable energy? See,
all of it,
make no mistake. Yeah. I think the future is renewables and good power and stuff, right? But is the future? It costs a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
Let's ask ourselves. I mean, first of all, this whole climate stuff, right? I mean, I strongly think climate change, is real. Just for the record, right? I think it's a problem that we all face. Do you get it? Yeah. But as a Ghanaian, I don't think that should be our focus now.
Okay.
Right?
So
we are not. Our contribution to the climate, climate crisis, my son to is not to a level where it becomes our top priority. Such agendas, they seem to serve the West. It's like nice talk to the West. Yeah. But bottom lines, I don't think we need.
I think when it comes to like things like the environment and stuff, something that I would want them to tackle more is the issue of galamsey. That's when it comes to our environment. That's a bigger issue to me.
Oh, he had a big plan for galamsey,
Oh, so he said. I've not been very impressed with how the government on that issue in particular. I've been very disappointed in how the government have treated the galamsey crisis. And galamsey is small scale, mostly illegal mining, not just small scale mining, but illegal mining where people are going into forest reserves, people are going into all kinds of places,
water bodies, especially
water, polluting the water bodies, all in search of gold. And this practice, the media tried to fight it when this government came into power in 2017. There was a huge media campaign against it. The government then got involved in trying to deal with the situation. There was an interministerial committee on illegal mining that was formed. It was fraught with a lot of challenges. Eventually, the Minister for Environment was changed. He then wrote a report on his time at the ministry with all kinds of scathing allegations against certain people, mostly in the ruling party, and even people on the opposition side. It just seems like the political class have hijacked this illegal mining space, and so nobody can really solve it, and then it's leading to a pollution of the water bodies. There are all kinds of diseases that are being reported in those mining areas who rely on the water bodies. It's just a mess. It's just a mess. And now Bawumia is saying that he will regularize the space. They will do licensing regimes to make sure that we know who the small scale miners are, where they are mining and their mining practices. But you are making a point as to that not being the solution, and that deterrent should be the solution.
Yeah.
And if they are involved, how can they?
Exactly. I mean, let's stop beating about the bush, right? And it's one of the problems we have in Ghana. We all know this is the problem, right? Yeah. We all know.
Yeah.
It's not a licensing issue. First of all, okay, fine. These people who are doing it now, they are doing it illegally, right? Are they trying to tell us they don't know where they are or who they are?
Yeah.
Right? How did they go and seize all the excavators that they burnt? That got missing. How can a whole excavator get excavator? It's not like a small iPhone or
Yeah.
You see, the truth is that a lot of the people doing galamsey, illegal small scale mining, are strong people in these political parties.
Not just even the ruling party.
It cuts across, right? They are big financiers, right? Yeah. Allegedly, right? Yeah. They are big financiers. So, quid pro quo. You can't really turn around and come in. So, if you give the license, to the person. They are going to even tell you, see, I have a document. By the time you run to the registry to go and even verify and stuff, they would have collected their gold and gone.
Yeah,
you know,
and our legal regime, our judicial regime should also help in dealing with some of these cases. You know, expedite these cases, make sure that.
But what kind of funding do they even have? You know, we have a problem of law enforcing laws in Ghana and Kasano. It's a problem.
People, the law enforcement agencies tend to pick and choose what they want to enforce.
Because the whole process is a problem. In fact, sometimes it doesn't, and this is just the truth, it doesn't even make sense to abide by the law. You know, like, it's like, it's just, see, let government focus on some of these fundamental changes. Do you get it? So that Ghanaian law means something.
Yeah.
You know, you at least think twice before you even decide to break Ghanaian law.
Because
do you get it? That way, once we have that framework, then passing legislation means something.
Yeah.
Because then we know once something becomes law, it's a almost a solved problem.
Because
do you get it?
Cost you a lot.
Exactly. But we are not doing any of such punitive measures.
Okay.
Right? And so without that, Charlie, it's just big talk.
On infrastructure, of course, they are going to put up a lot of infrastructure based on the speech. But then one thing you also said was that they were going to enter into public partnership with the private sector to build a lot of the infrastructure.
Yeah.
I don't know, how do you see it?
Well, I mean,
because you were already saying that the government should create the enabling environment for the private.
Yes. I think it's in the right direction. If again they will do it and do it diligently, right? What I mean by that is not just hand over contracts to their friends and their cronies, right? I think governments, at least our governments, have consistently demonstrated that they are not efficient at running such schemes. And that's okay. Government is not supposed to even be doing those in the first place, right?
Yeah.
So he talked about, I think, housing, right? We all know affordable housing projects. We pump a lot of money into these projects, starting with President Kufuor. President Kufuor, respect. President Kufuor was sitting right there, right? Projects that he started, some of them are still there. Exactly, right?
And then what do you call it? NDC2 started their own.
Exactly. You know, fighting transportation. Yes, started STC, right? STC. Then Kufuor Bas. Then Ayelolo. Then try and back to STC.
Okay. Anyway, to prevent all of that, right? All of these disjointed policy positions. Bawumia says, as part of his new government, they will try to make into law a national development plan, so that the political parties, their manifesto going into every election will be drawn from the national development plan.
Yeah.
On that score, again, a deterrent. Okay, if a political party comes with their own manifesto, and the people vote for them,
yes,
right, and then what?
Exactly, right. So first of all, you see, the point I made earlier is that if you are not at the place where something becoming law means something, right? Like if an instrument becomes law, like it's enforceable. And not enforceable just theoretically, but we actually enforce it, right? Yeah. Then all these changes and stuff you're talking about, they know they need. Yeah. And you see, it's one of the reasons why in Ghana, people don't even understand better the job of like an MP and all those. Because MPs are supposed to make laws.
Yes.
But because these laws are not really enforced,
it's more or less like there's no use for you.
Exactly.
So you have to be a developer.
So let's strengthen that aspect of our economy, right? Where we are at a point where we can enforce our laws. If we start enforcing our laws, then I think it's a fantastic idea to have that development goals. So as a nation, your plan, your 50 years plan.
Yeah.
What I say. Then the competition becomes how do we get there, not what we are going to do.
Yeah. Okay. You also said on the issue of the DCs who are supposed to be development agents, he says we are going to elect our MMDCs, and on that promise,
We hear tire.
Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo, who is the current president, Bawumia being his vice, promised that we're going to elect our metropolitan, municipal, and district executives. If you are in another country, maybe in the US, think of it as your mayor, right? The way that it's done in Ghana is the president appoints. There are 200 and something districts in Ghana. The president appoints district chief executives or municipal, depending on the size of the police or
like just the boss.
Just the boss at the local government, the local governance boss. And all of those are appointments that come from the president. When the current MPP were coming into power, there was a promise that they would take those powers away from the president and allow the populace to elect the MMDCs. What then happened, because that provision in our constitution is enshrined, we had to go through a referendum. And one of the questions on the referendum was whether or not we should vote for our MMDCs based on partisan political lines, so that NPP will sponsor a candidate, NDC will sponsor a candidate. The overwhelming consensus in the country was that people didn't want to elect them based on NPP NDC.
For good reason.
We thought the NPP NDC partisan politics were taking too much of the space. So a lot of people thought, including the opposition party, that we should do this devoid of partisan politics. Now the president had his own position that this should be based on partisan politics. Okay, and so my estimation was that when the president realized that the referendum was not going to go the way that he wanted it, he pulled the instrument away from parliament and the referendum didn't come on again. So for me, when Bawumia gives this as a promise, I think what he should be promising is whether or not he will allow us to vote for the MMDC based on partisan political lines. Because this thing of whether we want to elect MMDCs or not, we have agreed, and they have agreed. We've gone past that argument. I think the argument is you and your boss pulled the referendum.
He might claim his boss pulled.
But anyway, yes. So at the end of the day, you guys pulled it. So now, what is your position? Are we going to be able to do it on non-partisan lines that Ghanaians wanted it? Most Ghanaians, or we are still going to go with your way or the highway? If you bring
we don't know if most Ghanaians wanted it.
Oh please!
What we know is they ran away.
If they called off the show, they took their ball and ran away.
They called off the show. Yeah.
If they thought
yes, but look, the substantive here is that he knows, he's careful not to commit to anything.
Yeah.
But then say the things that he thinks would be a good bait to take, right? Because it's on the minds of Ghanaians.
Yeah.
You know, me personally, I think that
we should vote
a lot of the development that happens in local communities heavily depend on that local government system, right? And I have my own theories, but I think we not being able to elect those local leaders because they have no allegiance to the people directly, right? And some of them are actually very proud and pompous. We have videos online of some of them freaking out about the most trivial things, right?
Yeah.
So we all want this to happen. We just don't want.
We disagree on how it should happen.
Exactly. So please, if you really want to help Ghanaians,
let us know.
Let us know exactly what you.
Yes. Tell us. Let us elect.
Yes.
Everybody can see that. He said, did you say you abolish executive share or something? I think that one too was there.
See, just things to bait us. The government.
Okay, how about this one? He said he's going to have no more than 50 ministers.
Oh yeah, terrible.
See, another one of the.
We don't hear tire.
Another one of the issues where he's clearly telling us that he's his own man and has a different vision from the president who he serves under, right? The current president appointed over 120 ministers at some point when he came into power. There was wide criticism about the size of government even before the appointment of the 120 ministers and deputy ministers. I don't know how many ministers there are in the US, but it is not for a country
proportionate.
300 million. It's not as many.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of we have like so many ministers, and we are supposed to feed them their ministries and their
allowances
and all that. The president told us that he was in a hurry and he needed all of those people to execute his agenda. Fast forward.
In retrospect, he was in a hurry to.
I don't know. Yeah, like all they ended up reducing the ministers for many reasons which I'm not going to get into. But at the end of the day, for you as vice president to be in a government where there are record number of ministers, 120, and then for you to say that now you are going to go with 50, are you admitting that policy of having that many ministers was not the way to go, or are you just going to conveniently ignore that and tell us that what has happened in there? Are you really criticizing your boss?
Yeah, no, I think he's just saying things that he thinks we want to hear.
So you think that when
he comes to power and he doesn't do it, what can we do? Nothing. We've seen it over and over again, right? See, the whole nominal, when you say you reduce it to 50, yeah, hold on. When you say you reduce it to 50, right? Yeah. Why 50? Right? Don't just give us a number. Do you get it? 50. Why 50?
It's a round number.
Why not 20? You see, the mistake, sometimes we also make this mistake, right? Because he tells you 50, but maybe in actual terms, 50 is maybe not enough, right? Or maybe 50 is too much, right?
But Mama said you do 60, so you do 50.
Exactly. So you see, it's like, okay, give us some details of, okay, here I'm going to have only these ministries, right? I think those are the critical ministries we need right now, right? Mm-hmm. I'm going to cut down on the number of deputy ministers and so on and so forth, right? Mm-hmm. Like, give us some sense of how you came up with that 50. Because right now it just sounds like a convenient number. You started 180, your opposition is saying 60. 120. My bad. You said you started 120, right? Yeah. Your opposition cut it into half to 60. Now you want to marginally be better. 50. You know, say economists, they're marginal
gains.
You see, they have to, all I'm saying is that we have to go beyond this point where they just say stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and then we just have to take it like that. They have to give us some concrete explanation of why that makes sense.
Okay.
What I say?
But maybe the speech you couldn't have gone into.
Well,
because it was 73-page speech. So
all I'm saying is that at least touch on it a little bit, right? As I'm sitting here, if you ask me, is 50 enough? I don't know, because I don't know what, you know, I haven't taken the time off to like actually look at, okay, what ministries do we really need? He has a whole team.
I think there are like 19 ministers in cabinet. And then there's like 16 regional ministers. I think they also, I don't know if they have deputy. But like, if you start adding them up.
That 50 he's talking about, you see, that's all I'm saying. It's like, it doesn't seem like it's a number that, you know, it doesn't even include like regional ministers.
I mean, right?
You know,
all I'm saying is that there are ministries with 2 deputies, 3 deputies.
Job for the boys. You know, job for the boys. Yeah, so, SAR 50 in there, I find it to be just a flat. It doesn't mean much.
You think he's just trying to one-up Mama, who says 60?
It's possible. I mean, it seems like Dr. Bawumia, unfortunately, would say whatever he finds convenient.
Okay. Anyway, there are other things that he says there's not going to be national service is not going to be mandatory. What do you think about that?
National service is not going to be. Well,
I think some people have misconstrued that to say that there will be no national service. As for that one, I think people have been unfair with it because he says it is not going to be mandatory. I think what that means is that if you get a permanent job, you will not be held to you didn't do your national service.
The whole national service thing. I mean, I agree with you. The whole national service thing, right? On one hand, you see, it's even we are talking about national service, and people are a little annoyed by it because there are no jobs. I know. I have a friend. Since we finished school, right, from undergrad. About 5 years ago?
No,
8 years ago.
You old. You old man.
Anyways, since 8 years ago, one of our mates, he's still doing national service.
Why?
So when you're Juma.
So how can he still be doing national service?
He will re-enroll and then re-enroll and then re-enroll. Do you get it? So That's why it's a problem. So if we are fixing at least we are tackling the fundamental problem of unemployment and stuff. This won't be a problem.
But that one there,
but let's face
it's not mandatory. So
I don't think personally. Yes, personally, I don't think. So, no, the argument on the street is that they can't find money to pay. That's the argument.
But even if they can't find money to pay, and we've been critical of how the government becomes this like employment agency, which is not very efficient at, right? So maybe that's one way to take off some of that responsibility. And also, if they can't pay, and they are saying, well, we can't pay, so the way we are going to go about
we're not going to force you.
We are not going to force you to do it. They are not forcing you out of it anyway.
Yes. Some people are saying they won't make you do it.
Yeah, some people have said that it might breed corruption. I don't even know how that would work, but anyway.
Well, I mean, that's just word on the street.
And everything can breed corruption if you want to be corrupt about it. Most things breed corruption in Ghana anyway. Anyway, let's go into the politics of distance. You know how to distance yourself from somebody.
I think Dr. Bawumia showed that he's really good at that. He's really good at navigating it was not really my fault, but the his NPP base are still out there on the street defending him.
Yeah.
Do you get it? So what I'm trying to say is it didn't seem like he angered a lot of his base.
Yeah.
Yet he still painted a picture, a bit of a, I wasn't the one in charge. So, but then the long and short of it is that things are bad.
Yeah.
That's why this whole thing is even relevant.
Yeah. But I feel like part of it too is like the base the base will go wherever he goes, even if what he's saying is inconsistent. For example, let me use e-levy, the electronic levy that's charged on mobile money transactions. When the government was bringing the e-levy, there was opposition against the e-levy, both from the opposition party in parliament, but even from the ordinary Ghanaian. Even people who were MPP were like, no, this e-levy there some way. These people went to parliament. There were fisticuffs in parliament over the passage of the e-levy. And then today, the same person says he's taking away the e-levy. And the jubilation from the same people who went to fight in parliament.
I mean, politics is full of sycophants, right? But the thing is that the e-levy, I actually think they see it as a good bait.
Because it's not really bringing in money. So if they take it off.
Right. And then they feel Ghanaians will feel relieved. Do you get it?
But you see, that's the tightrope that you have to walk, because the sentiments that I'm getting from a lot of people is that, do you think it's really achieving that goal? Because their calculus is, okay, the e-levy we said was going to bring 6 billion. Okay. Then the e-levy is now bringing like what? The last time the first couple years that they did it, they didn't
very low.
They are still very low. I don't even think they reached 10% of that. So let's say their calculus is, well, we are not really gaining much from this e-levy. If we take it out, so we're going to take it off, right? And then probably get some sympathy from Ghanaians or some credit for taking it off.
Right.
But do you think that it's going to get the intended effect? Because there are a lot of Ghanaians who are also just angered by that singular act of you creating a problem and now pretending to solve it.
Yeah, I think
you know what I mean.
Yeah, no.
There are sections of people who are like,
yeah.
Even if you take this thing off, you have even angered me. So because what it means is that it was not necessary in the first place.
Yeah.
And all this fight was not.
Yeah, no, I get that. I mean, there is definitely some kind of like political calculation there, right? Yeah. But if you are torn between the choice of keeping it, which is still going to annoy people, right?
Maybe people would have just forgotten about it.
Hey, Ghanaians, e-levy, you go forget. Yeah. You see, the other side of it too is that now at least his NPP folks, they can communicate. And say, exactly,
betting
right?
tax.
And you even have you have some market women. I've seen videos of some market women who are using it as, like it, at least I think overall, overall it might be a net positive for them. Do you get it?
As
to whether people are happy with.
I think it might not be a net positive for them. I think.
Well, that's I guess at this point it's highly speculative.
Yeah, highly
so
speculative.
We'll see.
So based on your, so you think he did a good job with this time?
I think he did.
Like it's a very
I think he did well dodge. See, well dodge. See, it was a very gray area, right? The ordinary Ghanaian knows things are not great.
Yeah.
So he couldn't have just come in and made it seem like we did great.
They did better than the NDC.
Right.
That's why when he talks about
so he tried to disassociate himself to some point, saying, as a vice president, I'm the driver's mate, right? I heard something in this morning. I said, who is a driver or teachable? You see, the thing is that he says he's a mate, he's not in a driver's seat, right?
Yeah.
And then the economic side that Ghanaians were hopeful he could be that enigma and, solve the problem, right? He claims he only provided advice.
Which, given that they didn't work, it means the advice wasn't taken.
Either the advice was not taken or it was terrible advice.
No, he doesn't give terrible advice.
We don't know that. See, all I'm saying is at this point, either his advice was ignored.
Master, if you give me advice and the advice works, you not tell me that I only gave him advice. If it is when the advice doesn't work that you say
or if I didn't take it, right? Or maybe you told me to do something that would have worked, but I just didn't take it.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. So all I'm saying is that maybe the advice was not taken.
Okay.
Right?
That's what he wants to.
Yeah, fair enough. But then he did all of these things, right? In a way that wasn't too far off to annoy or anger the
he definitely didn't alienate his party.
Yeah.
But for me, that alienation of the party members, I don't think it would have happened anyway. They are rallying around their man. If he didn't say anything about e-levy, they would come and defend and say they should. If he says he's going to abolish e-levy, so those people are like they are not man. My issue is with the ordinary person who is not MPP, maybe like NDC or people who are just neutral. There are a lot of people who are very neutral in Ghana. That's how come the pendulum swings between MPP and NDC. For those people, I think that this e-levy, telling them that you are going to abolish e-levy, something which is a product of your own creation.
Yeah.
Please.
I think that one we will find out.
Yeah, let's go to the last topic. What do you think is the public perception of this speech? Well, like on social media and
it's generating a lot of conversation, obviously, right? I think he found that's right now it's and it makes sense. It's perhaps one of the most important things to talk about as Ghanaians right now, right? I see like the NDC folks trying to drag him on and then you can't really remove yourself from it, right? You were brought in for this and you failed miserably, so don't remove yourself from it. And then I see, and not just the NDC folks, some of the neutrals, you would argue. And then you have the MPP folks on the other side doing kind of like a damage control, right? Reinforcing that,
he's a mate.
He was the mate. And I mean, I saw the information minister, for instance, go on a show
now
and educating us what it means to be on the EMT, how when they advise, and then the cabinet, and then the president has the final say. And see,
it's funny how we all knew this until the MPP and Dr. Bawumia made the EMT seem like they were the ones that were doing
exactly.
And then now when things didn't go well, they are like, by the way, the previous definition that people had. Because we all knew that the EMT, of course, the president will have the final say. But when you start coming to tell us that this is the guy that I'm bringing for the economy. And there's a video where the first couple of years when the MPP came and things were relatively better, there was a video where Dr. Bawumia was giving one of his speeches and mentioning the names of the members of the EMT, in such boastful ways about how they are top notch, and throwing jabs at the NDC and asking the audience there that who even remembers who the members of the EMT and at the NDC were.
See,
to say that like they, and then now today you are telling us that you were just an advisor.
Exactly. The thing is, whatever they did, it didn't work.
Yeah.
You see, once you don't succeed,
results are everything.
Right. It's at the end of the day, what matters is results.
Anyway,
they didn't have good results.
Okay.
Right, and so now everybody is trying to take cover.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, lastly, at the end of the day, this is a contest between multiple parties, but most importantly between two people.
I wouldn't say most importantly.
Not
most likely.
The word I was looking for is like
the new force.
Most likely.
Charlie, you know the new force, Abby?
Yeah, my guy that.
We'll do a
most likely, but it is possible for somebody else to win, but it's very improbable. It's these two people that one of them is going to win. Where do you think that this speech places in terms of the political the race? I mean, obviously it's a marathon, right? At this point, where do you think he and Mahama are?
That's the unfortunate part for me. I don't think Mahama is necessarily, I don't think Mahama's track record, right, puts him substantially better
than
Bawumia.
Yeah.
You see, if it had been Mahama, imagine for a second that Mahama was running against Akufo-Addo.
Yeah.
By now, be but now you see, Dr. Bawumia seems to have he's just a mate.
Yeah.
It's driving conversation. You get it?
Yeah.
To your question, I don't see a big gap between them. Maybe after we get something more from His Excellency John Dramani Mahama's camp.
They said they've also brought out about 60 points.
Yeah, I read some stuff on
but
Twitter,
it's not the one thing I'll give Bawumia credit for, and ever since he's come into our politics, is the lectures and giving us one place for everything that he thinks, right? He has these lectures where he presents on things, not like a lecture. No, I mean, I'm not saying that the things that he's saying are good, bad, whatever. I'm just saying you can pick up a document and say this is
it's all here.
Before Bawumia,
I think they put together stuff.
But I'm saying the one who I don't even know if he pioneered it, but championed that kind of practice in Bawumia.
He keeps giving lectures.
He's an academic.
They are backfiring, right?
I'm not saying whether
it's a two-edged sword.
Now, I'm not discussing whether it's backfiring or not, right? Before Bawumia, largely, what will happen is that until the manifesto comes, what you hear is maybe the presidential candidate will attend a funeral somewhere, and then he will give a policy that he intends to do.
Right.
Then maybe
the media will pick it up.
Yeah. So it's scattered, right?
Yeah.
But at least Bawumia, there will still be promises that will come along the line that are not in this document. And this is not even, the speech is not even the manifesto of the party. This is his vision, right?
Right.
So we have the manifesto as well.
Yeah.
And then we have all those things. But at least we have this speech to go back and say, okay, this is what his position.
Yeah.
As for now, we have to.
I think that like I said, the race, I don't see between those two, and maybe this is how a lot of Ghanaians also feel. I mean, you guys let us know in the comments, how you feel between the two. But I don't see one being substantially better than the other. Yeah. It's just been tight. Everybody is like the devil. You're just choosing between two devils, kind of, right?
Isn't that what elections is?
No, it doesn't have
in
to
the
be
US. In the US, people are saying they have to choose between Trump and Biden.
So the thing is that
one is sleepy.
Well, I mean, I will not comment on those. But the thing is this, right? The thing is this. The political parties have to start realizing that Ghana's success, Ghana's future, really depends on the decisions they make. Maybe they haven't. Maybe to them it's just it's also
whether they are
hold on.
or not.
They might think that it's just politics, right? It's a career.
They know it is dependent.
No. I know they know. The point I'm making is this, right? That they have to be that intentional about it. And it's not just, it shouldn't just be, oh, is our policy slightly better than the opposition, right?
Yeah.
The responsibility is on them to take a step back and really look at some of the core issues that face us that we need to overcome.
Solution.
Do you get it? Those, I think, I mean, it seems like right now, with our democracy, there is no way out. Do you get it? There is no way out. So it's a huge responsibility. I just hope, and this is just my plea to them. I don't know if they will even watch this video, but my plea to them is that please, as you are coming up with your policies and stuff, please just look at the fundamental things, the important things, the basics that will get our problems, that will get the nation from step A to step B. And then let's keep building on that success. You get it? That's all I would say. But so far, I don't see
when are you running?
Oh, right now. The only running is I may be running away.
Anyway, we've come to the end of our conversation, Charlie. It was good.
Yeah, I mean, it was a fantastic speech. I think, on the level of, the delivery, like you said, the guy.
He's very charismatic and everything. He gets, the crowd.
But once we put all the book stuff aside, right, and then we start talking about the common sense and what we need to do, I think they really need to do more, right? But overall, let us know what you think
in the comments.
Don't forget to subscribe
and like
this is the Gongsman.
And share the video.
Yeah, share with your friends.
Thanks for tuning in with us.
Yep.
Adios.
See you.